a comprehensive look at trends, fund profiles, and more in Exploring ETFs.
We're going to take a look at defense ETFs now with our ETF strategist, Eric Dutram. Kind of an appropriate time in light of the activity, recent activity in France with the bombing out there. So you and I were talking before we started rolling here. All of the defense stocks had some activity right after that took place, right?
That's right. We saw some sort of positive trading for this sector after the tragic events in Paris with the terrorist attacks. A lot of investors are starting to believe this could be an area to watch, largely thanks to the defense spending, and that this might have to pick up for a lot of countries in the European region.
Yeah.
Because obviously these countries are at the front line of this fight against ISIS, and a lot of European countries, they don't really spend as much on defense as the U.S. does. It's about 1 to 2% as a percentage of their GDP. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., it's a little over 3%, can get up to 3.5%. So there is probably some room for Europe to, ramp up their budget, and if they're going to be, fighting against ISIS a little harder over the next couple months and years, we could see more interest in the defense sector, and it could be an area to watch for investors.
Just for comparison's sake, what was happening in that sector prior to the attack?
Well, actually, the space has been doing well before the attack too. There's been a lot of positive trading in this area, thanks to a lot of earnings beats for a lot of the big companies in the space. We also see a very positive Zacks industry rank. We're in the top quarter right now. We're just outside the top quarter, top 26% overall. And as we know, the companies in the top half of the industry rank outperform those in the bottom half by a factor of 2 to 1. So you add this in with some of the recent earnings, and we see some other big projects that have been taking place here with the long-range bomber contract. So there's a lot of spending here in the U.S., and there could be more in Europe if we see some heightened tensions from these recent tragic events.
All right. Well, you've brought along 3 ETFs in this sector to take a look at. 3 that you feel are worth taking a look at. First one is ticker ITA.
That's right. ITA is the most popular product in this space. It's the ETF from iShares. Holds a moderate amount of securities. You're at 40. It's going to have a large cap focus, so you're going to get big companies that are going to take up large chunks of the portfolio. So, your Boeings, United Technologies, Lockheed Martins, these are kind of the biggest components in this ETF. It's reasonably popular, actually the most popular of the 3 we're going to talk about today. And it's appropriate if you're okay with this concentration in some of these bigger names, that I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. A lot of these take up big chunks of the portfolio, but these also have seen strong Zacks ranks as of late, and they could be strong picks for the next couple months as well.
All right, what about this other one, ticker PPA?
PPA is the Power Shares version. They go a little more in depth. They have a much wider focus in the aerospace and defense sector. 54 stocks here, so you're going to get a little more mid-cap exposure, although you're still going to get some solid large caps with a lot of the companies I was just talking about on the previous slide. It's not quite as popular. Second most popular here. It is the most expensive at 66 basis points a year, so investors should keep that in mind. It's going to have that similar breakdown to ITA. It's just going to be a little more spread out, so you're not going to get quite as concentrated in the big names.
What is XAR all about?
XAR is the State Street product in this group, and this has an equal weight focus. And as we know with equal weight ETFs, they have a much broader holding profile, so you're going to get more small caps and mid caps in your basket. But because the aerospace sector is so top heavy, it's not as pronounced as we see in some of the other sectors out there, be it like a consumer ETF or the S&P equal weight ETF. So definitely something to keep in mind for investors who prefer the equal weight approach. This is the least popular at $150 million in assets, so definitely keep that in mind. However, it is one of the cheapest choices out there. So if investors are looking to save some cash and are trying to get the cheapest choice in the space, this is definitely one to look at. Just be mindful of that size consideration that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. This is going to be one of the more volatile choices in the space.
Is this sector, as far as ETFs are concerned, one that is going to be worth watching going into the new year here?
I believe so. There's a lot of trends impacting the space. Very solid Zacks industry rank and Zacks ranks for the underlying securities. So I think this is definitely an area to watch as we head into 2016.
All right. Well, we thank you for that. All points well taken. Do you own either?
I do not.
All right. Check out more ETF information, commentary, and other information regarding ETFs on our website, zacks.com. To get there, all you need to do is go to the homepage and navigate using the Funds tab in the top toolbar. Hey, don't forget, if you're watching our videos on YouTube, you can subscribe to them there, and you can even comment on them, and the feedback's always welcome. With Eric, I'm Terry Ruffalo.